In this movie, I'll explain how to set up something called a document class. In previous versions of Flash, the main timeline or the main class of your Flash movie was a movie clip. Now, we can define our own custom class for our document. And that'll make more sense as we actually build it. So, I'm working in button.fla, and I'm going to be working with buttonclass.as. These files can be found in the Chapter 5 Exercise Files folder in 5-7. The first thing I'm going to do in this FLA file is just delete these 3 instances off the stage. We'll bring them onto the stage in our external ActionScript file. So let's go to buttonclass.as. Now we'll write our document class. So let's type package, enter, open curly brace, enter, close curly brace, up arrow, enter. Type public, class, space. This needs to be called the same name as your file, so we'll call it button with a capital B, class with a capital C, space, extends, space, movie clip. Since we're extending the movie clip, we need to import movie clip, so let's go up 1 line, press enter twice, go up 1 more line, and we'll import space flash.display.movie clip with a capital M and capital C, semicolon. After public class, button class extends movie clip, press enter, open curly brace, enter, close curly brace, up arrow, enter. Now we'll create our constructor function, so type public function button class with capital B, capital C, open and close parenthesis, enter, open curly brace, enter, close curly brace, up arrow, enter. Alright, now we just want to check for right now to make sure that this is working okay. So I'm going to type trace, open parenthesis, open quote, button, space, class, space, working. Close quote, close parenthesis, semicolon. Now let's save this file, return to button.fla. In the Properties Inspector, you should see the document class area. If you do not see that, click on the gray space off of your stage, and it should show up. Click in the document class area, and then type the name of our document class. It's going to be button class, so capital B-U-T-T-O-N, capital C for class. Let's just click away from that text area, and by click away I mean click off of the stage, in the gray area, and test the movie. And in your output window, you should get a message that says button class working. Great. Now what I'm going to do is bring instances of the border to the timeline and have them be our buttons. Let's go back to MC Border in our library and right-click and select Linkage. Check Export for ActionScript. We have MC Border for our class, and for the base class we have flash.display.movieClip. Let's change the base class to be the class we created in the last exercise, which is fun, capital F, and then button with a capital B. That way, if I want to make more objects buttons, I can create them and set the base class to fun button and leave the class name unique, because every movie clip needs a unique class name. The reason why we can just type fun button is because the ActionScript file is in the same file as our FLA file. If that ActionScript file were in a different folder, you'd have to use a special technique to reference it. And in the next movie, I'll explain how to do that. For right now, just click OK. And it gives you that message, just click OK. Now, nothing exciting happens yet, but let's go back to buttonclass.as. And we'll need to import our MC border, so I'm going to click after flash.display.movieClip. Then press enter and type import, and then a space, then MC border with a capital B. And a semicolon. And we'll go to the next line and we'll just import, and a space, our fun button. And a semicolon. On line 8, after the open curly brace, that's after public class, button class extends movie clip, go down a few lines and then go up 1 line. And we'll create a new variable. So let's create a private space var space border colon. And the data type is going to be MC and then capital B for border. Then type a semicolon. So this line of code creates a new variable called border, and the data type is MC border, which is that same symbol that's inside of our library, which will also be a fun button. Now let's just erase this trace statement. We'll just replace that with some code that will bring our border to the stage. So the first thing we need to do is type border space equals space, then type the word new and a space, then type MC capital B for border, open and close parenthesis, and a semicolon. That means a new instance of the MC border class. So basically we're dragging a new instance of this object, the MC border, from our library to the timeline. However, we cannot see it yet. If we were to run this file right now, we would not be able to see it. We need to do one more thing, and that's something called add the object to the display list. Now, the display list is something we're going to be working with all throughout the rest of this title. Basically, an object like a movie clip can hold other objects, other visual objects. When we're putting a visual object inside of something else, we need to use a method called add child. So let's go to the next line and then type add child with capital C, open parenthesis, and then border, just like we wrote it above, close parenthesis, and a semicolon. Now what this will do is we'll add our border, which is an instance of our MC border out of our library, to the display list of our button class. All that means is we're going to see it. Without add child, you wouldn't see it. So just take a note of it right now that you need to do add child if you want to see any object that you create in ActionScript. So let's save this file. Going to File, Save, go back to button.fla, test the movie, and you get your border at the very top left. If you roll over it, you can see we got the effect. That's kind of ridiculous, so let's just move its X and Y position so it's a little bit easier. After add child border, go to the next line and just set the X and Y properties. So border.x space equals space 200. That should get them far enough out to the right so we can see them okay. Then go to the next line and do border.y space equals space 200, semicolon, save the file. You can actually test the movie from right inside of this ActionScript file. So you press Command Return or Control Enter here, and we'll see it. There's our border. Roll over, it gets big. Roll out, it goes back down. And that's how you define a document class. So document class, again, is just like a regular class, except we define it down here in the document class area of the Properties Inspector, and that code will run automatically when we run our Swift file.